Hey, what's up, everyone? Happy Friday! Welcome to another episode of the SEO Video Show. Today we have Krinal, Mehta, and we'll be talking about a visibility stack. He is an enterprise SEO I met at Hrefs Evolve conference. And we're going to talk about how entity SEO, Reddit, and AI tie in all together for your visibility online. It looks like for some reason, what's going on here? My man, Stefan, happy Friday. Victor, happy Friday. All right, guys, if you're just tuning in, we have Krinal, Mehta, and we'll be talking about a visibility stack and how entity SEO, Reddit, and AI tie in all together. I met Krinal at the Hrefs Evolve conference. We've got about 7 more minutes to go. Don't be shy. Let me know where you're watching from in the live chat. I will also be taking a break next week. It's my birthday week. So I'll be back on January 2nd. If you guys are interested in attending a conference, check out SEOrockstars.net, SEOrockstars.net. I will have a coupon code for y'all. I will post it on the channel and all my social channels for you to use and support this channel. I believe you get $300 off the tickets. SEO Rockstars is one of the conferences I enjoy going to. It's where you learn a lot of things that are not spoken at traditional conferences. How's everyone doing? Marcus, hello. We got about 5.5 more minutes to go. If you're just tuning in, we have Krinal Mehta of Bluehost, HostGator, NetSol. We'll be talking about visibility stack online, entity SEO, Reddit, AI, and how it all ties in together. I'll be doing one more show at the GBP Roast channel, and it'll be like a open forum. We're gonna send out a link for anyone to join for the episode, just to chop it up and talk SEO and see what everyone's doing. If you're looking to learn AEO, check out aeo.so, sponsored by Profound at tryprofound.com. If you need an enterprise grade platform on answer engine optimization, check out tryprofound.com. Yo, 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 what's up, Ernesto? All right, I see Krinal. How you doing, my man? Can you hear me?
Good. How are you, Paul?
Good, good, good. Just waiting for people to come in. We got about 3 minutes to go.
All right.
All right.
How's your Friday?
Good, good. Like every Friday. Loving Friday. Where are you located? Where are you located?
I'm here in Waterloo, Ontario.
Ontario. Oh wait,
Canada.
Canada. Oh, here in Canada. Yeah. There you go.
I am.
We have an Ontario here in California, so it's like.
I know. I might envy the weather that you might have because we have quite a bit of blister going around here.
Oh man. All right, we have Kobe here. Says hi, guys.
Hey.
All right, if you're just tuning in, we have about 2.5 more minutes to go. Krinal just joined us, and we will be talking about your AI visibility, your actual. Let's see here. We want to talk about your visibility stack of how everything ties in together for your entity SEO, Reddit, AI. Great conversation for today. Hi, Krinal and Dre. Hello, James.
Good to see you, James.
All right, we got 2 more minutes to go. So I haven't actually done these clips in the very beginning. I usually go straight into the interview now. So once the countdown is over at about 1 minute, I'll put you on mute, and then we can get things ready. We have Ephemera. Hello, fellas.
Hello.
All right, we got a bunch of you here. Don't be shy. Say hi in the live chat. Be sure to take notes and ask questions, and I will address them in the order that they are received.
You know, it's funny. I got a mic and everything set up today, but I don't have the whole thing that you got to put the mic on, and so I'm just kind of.
You mean like so one of these stands here, so you can like have it stand?
Yeah. I don't have the stand. I got everything going in, but not the stand. So unfortunately, I have to wait until the next one. But
still sound good, brother. Still sound good.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and put you on mute real quick, and then I'll bring you back in right after I do the introduction.
All right. Thank you.
All right, guys. If you just tuning in, we Krinal Mehta here, and we'll be talking about the visibility stack on entity SEO, Reddit, and AI. So be sure to take notes. I met Krinal at the Hrefs Evolve conference, where I met a ton of great SEOs there. It's a great conference to go to. If you want to check out another conference that I will be at, it will be at SEOrockstars.net. SEOrockstars.net. It's one of the conferences I enjoy going to and learning a lot of things that are not talked about in regular conferences. It's kind of a big mastermind type class format. So be sure to check that out.
Yeah. Hey, time to get it started. No delay. Let's work. Want to see you be an SEO expert. Paul Andre de Vera, steady dropping knowledge. Over 15 years in the game, so he knows all about it. Master the art of SEO. You will be amazed. Time to get your brand off page to on page. Dropping knowledge, legendary for sure. Whether you're just getting started or self-employed entrepreneur. Yeah, let's go. Subscribe to the SEO video show.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the SEO Video Show. SEO is alive and fun. My name is Paul Andre de Vera, aka Dre, and I curate SEO videos released within the past week into about 1 minute clips. My favorite part of the show is when I get to introduce my guest. And today we have Krinal. Before we get started, let's say what's up to everyone in chat. I see Ephemera, James, Kobe, Ernesto, Marcus, Victor, Stefan. Welcome, everyone. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Now let's get on with the show.
Hey Dre, what do SEOs use besides consonants? Disavowal!
All right, so welcome everyone. Google just released a December core update. This was something that I was actually seeing within weeks beforehand, but be sure to not to update any of your pages until this core update is complete. All right, let's introduce our guest, but before we do, here's a word from our sponsor.
Your traffic is vanishing and AI search is the reason why. Hi, I'm Andre Vera, a 20-year SEO pro, and this is how I beat AI in its own game. Answer engines like ChatGPT, Gemini, and Perplexity are all replacing Google results, and your organic traffic is disappearing. No links, no attribution, just lost visibility. Right at the moment, people are deciding what to buy. These answers shape the buyer's journey, but you get zero traffic and zero credit. So how do you stay visible even when search engines stop sending traffic? I use Profound, the only tool built to help brands in AI search. I used to spend hours optimizing for rankings. Now I optimize for answers, and Profound tells me precisely what AI is talking about my brand. Profound gives you answer engine insights. See where and how AI mentions your brand. Agent analytics. Track how often AI crawlers visit and use your content. Conversation Explorer. Discover what real users ask AI before they buy. And shopping visibility. Boost product presence in ChatGPT shopping. If you're not showing up in AI answers, you're out of the conversation. Start now before your brand disappears from the buyer's journey. Be sure to click the link below and try Profound.com to take back your brand's visibility.
Krinal is the director of SEO at Newfold Digital, leading search and AI visibility strategy across brands including Bluehost and HostGator. Previously, he held senior SEO role at FreshBooks. He brings 15 plus years of experience and across enterprise and SaaS. He focuses on building organic systems that work across classic search and emerging AI platforms. Please welcome Krinal Mehta.
Krinal, my man, welcome to the show.
Thank you. What an introduction.
love it.
I don't know how you put that together, but you found all the bits and pieces across the internet.
Yeah, there you go. Everyone, let's give a round of applause. All right, Krinal, I'm going to get right into it. This is the first question I ask all my SEO professionals that come on here. In 1 minute or less, how does Krinal get ranking on page 1 of Google?
How does anyone else get paged when ranking on Google? You make sure that your content website is crawlable, indexable. It has the right information, has the right information that your user is looking for, and it renders. That's the foundation. And then from there, let the world know about your website, talk about it on different platforms, so on and so forth. That's how I get pretty much the websites on page 1 of Google.
Love it. First knowledge bomb of today. Hold on. Let me rewind this quick. Hold on. Take us way back to about 15 years ago. How'd you first get into SEO?
Oh, this is interesting. So I used to work at this, during college, you have the side gigs. And one of the side gigs I had was I was working at a computer training institute.
Okay.
So I was working as the center manager. My role was really sales, and I was trying to sell as many computer courses as I can, get people to buy into our admissions for, C++ design, graphic design at the time. Like I'm talking 2006-07.
Yeah.
So there was only one course for which I really didn't have to sell. Like I didn't have to give any targets to my counselors. They had to do no cold calling. People would come through the door and pay for months in advance. And I'm always was curious. I'm like, what is this course that I don't really have to, but it's always booked and people are waiting in the queue for months and months.
Uh-huh.
And then I asked the owner, and he's like, oh, there's this thing called SEO. I'm like, what is that?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't know, like there's this guy who comes, like he just uses our space and we kind of have this interesting kind of partnership. So he uses our brand and our facility, but he has his own knowledge that he comes with and just kind of teaches that. And we don't have to find students. It's an amazing business. I'm like, have you ever looked into it? He's like, no. I'm like, I'd like to look into it. And so he talks to this trainer, and the trainer's like, no business. Like I don't care. Like even if it's staff member, they have to purchase take admission. I'm like, okay. So I wasn't making that kind of money. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Take that away from my salary. And so I gave away the salary for a couple of months to see what this SEO thing was. And to my surprise, at the time, sure, I mean, it was all about very different kind of an SEO in 2006-07. But that's how I got introduced to this world. And then all of a sudden I went on my own journey, looked at Rand Fishkin, what he was doing with Whiteboard Fridays at the time. That kind of became my launch pad. And from there, just kept going, never looked back.
Love that. You mentioned Rand Fishkin. Was there any other resources that you were looking at the time?
Aaron Wall was running the SEO book at the time. We had the market summarize. No animals were let out of the zoo back then. So I'm talking 2006, 7, 8. So it was very different times in SEO.
Love that. Love that. Aaron Walls is some person I've also learned from. He had the SEO book that he would just publish all the time, this PDF. Yeah. Love that. Yes. Love that. Okay, so I'm curious. So, like, what made you more so interested? I know you mentioned, like, you got interested because you saw this course and you didn't have to sell it. But, I mean, what part of SEO makes you, like, so excited about it?
So, I come from a small village in India, and I was in this mega urban city called Ahmedabad, where I had moved out to build a career for myself. And I was staying in a student facility. So you're always running out of cash. You're trying to figure out, how do I make this work, right? And so I found an opportunity where I could, kind of just sit with a computer and make some money online, right? And so I'm like, that's a thing, like that could happen, and so when I got the first $100 check while I was literally just playing a game or something online, I'm like, this is real. $100 at the time, I'm talking 2006 in India, was still some money, right? Like you could do a month with it. So that's what got me thinking that there is something worth exploring. And then the fact that when we started doing like actual SEO for businesses, and businesses were so keen, because I'm talking businesses that are thousands of crores in value at the time in India had no clue what this SEO was. And when I started talking to them, they're like, we absolutely want to do this. And so that's what got me more interested and wanted to continue to build. But really always has been the curiosity of helping businesses being found online.
Love that. So take us to your journey through enterprise SEO. Your first enterprise company was that? What, as FreshBooks? Was that, or is it?
Yes,
yeah. Take us through FreshBooks. Take us through FreshBooks. Your journey there.
So FreshBooks, I joined FreshBooks during COVID, November of 2020.
Okay.
Steve Toth, who was running the FreshBooks, as the head of SEO for FreshBooks at the time, or senior SEO manager. He was the one who hired me, interviewed me, and said, I've kind of taken a step back. We need someone who can really drive charge here. And so I joined FreshBooks during COVID. It's funny because the first time we as a team met each other after a year, because COVID, everything was shut down. No one's really going to office no more, right?
Yeah.
I joined FreshBooks, and FreshBooks was going through an interesting transition at the time, because they wanted to go global. And so there was this international back in where we want to go global, expand in 6 different markets. How do we do it? And so, I said, hey, listen, we've always been focused on our core, which is accounting software. What if we look at each of the features that we have? Look at invoicing, payments, payroll. And what if we find 5 competitors for each of these features and do the exact same thing across all of these 6 markets?
Ooh, love that.
Love
that. Yeah.
So I expanded the universe, and that's how we created 1,200 pieces of content in 6 months. And that's what took off really in terms of growth in the first year of working at FreshBooks.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot. Okay. So after 3.5 years or so, you got into what's this? Bluehost. It's an actual company that I didn't know one company owns all this. Bluehost, HostGator, NetSol. I think there's like Snap Names, like so many properties. And so, like, how did you get your journey into here? And I'm curious what your strategy is there, because amongst all those different brands, are you managing all those as well, like all the brands, or?
So I'll walk you through that.
Okay.
So I was at FreshBooks for 4 years, and then FreshBooks had several rounds of reorg.
Okay.
So I was let go in October of 2023, I believe, in the 6th round. And then, it was like the biggest the smallest point in my career where I thought that, hey, because I've never been kicked out of a job. And this was not for cause, like it was not for something what I did. Like 250 people were let go in the same round that I was let go. And so everyone, right from the president to the CMO to CFO to vice president, director. Everyone was let go, right? So
Wow. Okay.
I'm like, okay. And at the time, we were expecting our first child, and I had all my parental leave approved and all that good stuff. So it wasn't the best time for this to happen. And also, just not having an experience of what a layoff could look like, feel like, made me seriously consider if I had my ducks in a row. So I was stressed, frustrated, all at the same time. So I was going to these conferences. Tech SEO Connect in Raleigh is where I met a lot of interesting folks last year. And then through that, I had some introductions. And long story short, I got introduced to the hiring manager at Newfold Digital, Mark Vera, was hiring for someone senior on the SEO side. So Newfold Digital actually private equity owned group where it's an umbrella entity for 18 different brands. So Bluehost, HostGator, Yoast is some of the brands that you might be familiar with. Then we've got brands in India, Big Rock. We've got brands in the domain space, Snap Names. We've got brands in the website builder space. So the oldest domain registrar, Network Solutions, is also part of Newfold Digital. So it's a big group. I work. My focus is the Bluehost group. So there's Network Solutions group and Bluehost group. I'm on the Bluehost group as the director of SEO.
Got it. Love that. Okay. So now let's get into today's topic. So we want to talk about our visibility stack, is what I believe you like to call it here. So I'm curious, for those what we want to do is we want to see in AI. You mentioned AI. You say AI first search world. I mean, what's the simplest way to explain this to people out there?
Yeah, so we come from a world where if I wanted to, and this is my real journey, I a couple months back bought another car. So 3 years back when I bought a car, I would literally go to Google and start my journey, look at YouTube videos and kind of do the research. So there is a list of links and you're trying to, like a database, sort through the list of links and decide, okay, what do I want to see? Where do I find the information I want? I think with AI, this whole journey has been condensed, where I can just talk to this chatbot and it could summarize all the information from all the various sources on the internet. And so in terms of the friction has reduced dramatically, right? As a buyer, now I no longer have to scour through 50 different sources. I can have all of that information organized in a way that is relevant to me. And so this AI first world, in my opinion, is a world where people are using a very different surface to navigate through their internet buying journeys in a very different way. So a lot has changed, and we really have to unpack this to even start to wrap our head around how to optimize for this.
Love that. Okay, so let's kind of start talking into about it. So like you say, visibility everywhere, right? What surfaces matters most, whether it's Google, AI search, AI mode. I mean, talk about this concept of visibility everywhere.
So because the buyer journey is no longer, hey, I need to buy X, Y, and Z. I go to this website and I buy this from here. People over the time have this feeling that marketers are starting to kind of, infuse marketing messaging across the internet. So it's really hard for them to find authentic reviews and feedback. And so you can see the uptick in Reddit, because Reddit is one place on the internet where you can have authentic, content. YouTube, like what you are doing, I think what we are doing here, this is authentic content, this is not AI generated. So people are leaning more towards trying to find sources of authentic content. So that's changing in terms of consumption. Now, what's changing in terms of the journey is because now, okay, so you have YouTube, you have Reddit, you have other sources similar like UGC forums like Quora, what have you, where people are starting to lean in there, and those are actually the decision drivers for them to decide which brand to do business with. And because these sources are all different, they're not just search, there's all these different sources, we have to optimize everywhere. That's kind of where that context comes from.
Love that. Okay, so you come from an enterprise SEO background. So I'm curious, what does success look like now? I mean, it's not just rankings. What are the things that you're looking at with the team, or what does your CMO even care about now, or your whole team as a whole?
Yeah, great question. So I'm very privileged to have a CMO who's also from the Bay Area and wants to have that Bay Area mindset and framework and mentality in the way of how we operate.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we are a legacy brand with 25 plus years of legacy with Bluehost and more than 30 years of
Yeah.
legacy with network solutions,
Yep.
we operate with that Bay Area mindset where we understand that the fundamental ecosystem under our feet is changing and changing rapidly with AI,
Mm-hmm.
because we are all about domains and websites, and the whole website domain space is changing rapidly with AI. Not just that, how our customers find us and make their decisions on which websites and where to host them is
Mm-hmm.
also being influenced with AI. And
Okay.
at the same time, AI is also a leverage that we could use to accelerate, whether it is accelerating SEO, accelerating paid, what have you. So the questions that are being asked in the meetings is like, okay, where do we find AI augmented opportunities to accelerate quickly? What
Mm-hmm.
are the things that we can do with AI that normally would have taken us 6 months that now can be done in 6 weeks? That way
Mm.
we can accelerate our learnings and so makes decisions faster, whether it is good or bad for the business, but we make decisions faster, we accelerate the learning cycle, and that accelerates our growth. So that's the high level framework of.
Love that. So, I mean, what tools are you doing to like research this? I mean, like, are you using like platforms like Profound here, or like, yeah, but is there like what other platforms are you using there to like analyze this and either report out and also research, right? Because I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm a big tool nerd. It's interesting you mentioned Profound, because I was talking to James when the first TechCrunch article about Profound came out. This was back in, I believe, September 2023, and they were
Uh-huh.
just literally on TechCrunch, and I was probably one of the first 100 people to send him an inbound lead and say, "Hey, we
Oh,
should chat." Because I was at FreshBooks at the time,
yeah,
and
yeah,
AI wasn't that big, but I
yeah.
knew they were the only ones trying to solve for it. And so I tried really hard to bring them on board while I was at FreshBooks.
Uh-huh.
So love the stuff that they are doing.
Uh-huh.
We don't use Profound here at New4 Digital, but
What are you guys using? Yeah.
we, we use a bunch of different tools. So on the prompt monitoring side, I really like what Ahrefs is doing and how different their approach is, where you get visibility into like the 250 million plus prompts.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Because with all the other prompt monitoring tool, the limitation is you are confined by how you think your users search. You don't have access to this inherent vast database of
Yeah,
how users might be searching, right? So if I want to
exactly.
know, hey, in the WordPress ecosystem, who's really driving more mentions and citations and all that cool stuff? Well, I can't possibly think about what a million prompts for WordPress could be.
Yeah.
But Ahrefs is already doing that. So I might as well lean
Oh.
on
Mm-hmm.
and then use that as, how you do content gap analysis for keywords in the traditional SEO sense. You do the exact same thing from prompts. Say, hey,
Exactly.
what are those areas where this competitor is kind of leading, and where can I learn from? So that's one of the toolkit we use in terms of prompts.
Love that. Okay, so all the SEO leads out there, I mean, when it comes to like this visibility, this whole visibility shift of like being everywhere. I mean, so what should an SEO present to a CMO who's not, like your CMO, who doesn't understand this and maybe more traditional? Like, how do you convince them to go this route of optimization?
So I wasn't always this privileged, right? And so I started by showing them what's already happening. So without you doing anything, if you just pull out an analytics report and show them, first yourself start understanding what is the traffic that you're getting from Gen AI. Like how much
Okay.
traffic are you getting from the Chat GPT's Perplexity of the world?
Okay.
What's the conversion rate like? What pages are they visiting? What pages are they crawling? Just start to understand what's already happening without you doing anything, and then you're like, oh, I'm getting a lot of traffic on the pricing page. I wonder if people are asking questions about my pricing. And then you run a few prompts. Now you have tools
Oh.
like Amplitude, I believe, or the analytics company that rolled out a free prompt, right? So just throw in some pricing prompts and say, oh, my pricing information is outdated, so people are making decisions based off my outdated pricing. And
Hmm.
suddenly you start to make sense of like, hey, let's first present this to the CMO and say, hey, our users are making their decisions based on inaccurate brand information that's out there. Should we
Ah.
be worried about that? that'll
Yeah.
get the eyes rolling. You know what?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Oh,
like,
that's
okay, what else is happening? That gets
yeah.
the conversation going, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a good way to like persuade any leader out there, right? Like it's like, hey, this is what people are reading along here. So let's talk about traffic. You mentioned that AI search is pretty volatile, right, week to week, or what's causing this volatility you feel, and this whole citations shifting and query remixing and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think there are two or three big levers. So one is the partnerships that happen, right? So
Oh
these
yeah.
AI companies, the models, they enter into partnership with like the big publishers like Condé Nast, what have you. And the moment they enter into partnerships, I'm sure there's some sort of a backend way for them to change and shift the weights of what gets either that, or just because of partnership, they have better access to the data through that partnership. And
Yeah.
so they are better able to, like, we noticed this in September. 52%, there was a 52% drop in overall referral. And I think SEG or SELand did an article on this. Referral traffic coming from chat GPT
Mm-hmm.
was dropped in September. It went down in September and I think picked back up. So changes happening on the models themselves and within their ecosystem. The second thing I think is the generative nature of this generative AI, right? Is because it's probabilistic.
Mm-hmm.
If you and I run the same prompt 100 different times, we are likely going to see 1,000 different results. That's just how the beast works. And
Mm-hmm.
so you have to be okay with doing that over and over and over again,
Yep. Yep.
and then trying to understand the influence.
Love that. Okay, okay. So I want to make sure you're. Yeah, I was gonna say move. Can you move a little bit so we can see you? You're falling off the
Okay.
framer. There we go. There we go.
Is better?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
okay. I was like, you're disappearing on me here when you're talking, but all right.
My bad.
So let's talk about like how is I know it's so different when it comes to different niches, industries on the type of traffic that convert, or AI traffic converting. I mean, has it been converting it for you? I mean, obviously it's big, where so it must be actually converting it within the SaaS space or enterprise space for you, right?
It does convert really, really well, way better
Okay.
than organic. But I'm
Oh.
also noticing, and I look at larger data sets as well. What's happening is a lot of the decisions are being made within the AI ecosystems themselves, right? So, let's just say, there is the online conversations going, okay, why is the conversion rate 6x higher or 3x higher from AI versus like, hey, the conversion rate coming from organic? You got to remember, we are not making it easy for this organic crowd to make their decision. We'll say, hey, read this blog post, hey, read this compare article, hey, go to this
Mhm.
pricing page, hey, talk to sales.
Mhm.
Whereas they can minimize and reduce that entire journey inside of AI, because AI can do all sorts of comparison, gather user feedback, and once they've decided they actually want to move forward with the purchase is
Mhm.
when they'll land on your website, because that's the only piece that you have on your
Yep.
website. Everything else they can pretty much do in AI. So yeah, we've seen some really, really good encouraging conversion rates.
Love that. Okay, so you actually talked about that. You lost a lot of traffic from ChatGPT, like almost 50%, or like there's something happened there. So I mean, what did you do? Did you panic, or like
No,
how'd you? So what happened, or how'd you react to that?
I think 17 years of SEO makes you more comfortable with these traffic drops being just the lay of the land, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I didn't panic. I went looking to see, hey, is it just us, or are our competitors also seeing something similar? Second, I was like, okay, outside our ecosystem, what's happening? And that's when I read on, I believe, SE Land or Search Engine Journal,
Mm-hmm.
that there has been some sort of a model shift. The models have decided they've done some sort of fine tuning. So they've just decided they want to keep users, which every platform is trying to do, keep users inside their ecosystem, not try to motivate, incentivize sending them off the platform. So, but I think
Mm-hmm.
they course corrected, so that
Yeah.
has recovered.
Okay. 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 Love that. Okay. So you mentioned like LLMs don't rank pages, right? They recall entities, right? Can you break
Mm.
this down in plain terms of what this what this means?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I don't know the level of tech comfort for the audience. I'll try and keep this simple here. But when you talk about entity, what you're really talking about, like if you search for the word Apple on Google,
Mm-hmm.
how does Google know if you're talking about Apple the company or Apple the fruit?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, those, by the way, are both entities for Google, but
Mm-hmm.
they are different entities. And so without context, it is hard for Google to understand, or I'm using Google as a proxy, but any machine to understand which entity is being referenced. And so there has to be entities, but then has to be relationships between entities for them, models and machines, to understand context of what you're talking about, what you're asking about, so on and so forth. And so because these models were trained on the corpus of the internet and all the books at the library, blah 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 blah. They've kind of like digested all of that and created their own understanding of entities and relationships between these entities, which entities get mentioned more often alongside what entities, right? So if you talk about iPhone and Apple, like, okay, they understand, okay, this is talking about iPhone, the product of this Apple, the company, not the fruit, so on and so forth. So that's the nature of the beast. And so you as a brand, if you're trying to rank a website, that's not how it's going to work, because they understand entities to say Bluehost is an entity, WordPress is an entity, and because Bluehost is a WordPress recommended hosting provider listed on WordPress.org, and there are like 20,000 people talking about this, now I can connect these two and say, okay, Bluehost, when someone's searching for WordPress, if you do any prompt, say, hey, if I want to host a WordPress website, you'll automatically see Bluehost come up, because that's how they're building these entity connections.
Got it. I love that. Okay. So easily said, but I mean, how are you optimizing across, the internet for entity optimization? Like, these signals that you are helping, create this relationship. What are you doing?
Great question. So there's a lot of underground plumbing. Like, how would you plan a city without plumbing, right? It's like that. So a lot of underground plumbing we do with the help of structured data, because structured data is kind of how you help these machines understand what you are, what are you trying to talk about, blah blah blah. So we put out a page for our CEO, a bio page, and then on the bio page we have all the information about the CEO, their past experiences. Also added the person structured data so that Google can connect all the entities to say this is the same individual who's worked here, has spoken at all of these conferences, has studied this, done this, executed this, and now is leading the charge on Bluehost. And so they are able to connect the dots. So you'll have to help them connect the dots on your website, right, with the help of content and all of that, and then underground with the structured data and knowledge graph ontologies and all that good stuff.
Love that. And I mean, how about across other platforms? I mean, and that's structured data is on your site, right? But what about like Google, YouTube, you mentioned, Wikipedia, Reddit? Like how are you aligning this?
Yes. So once you got your ducks in a row on your own website, then you expand that out to all the social media and the digital assets that you control.
Okay.
And then from there you try and influence the ones that you don't control, right? So in the hosting space, for example, affiliates is huge. And so if you search for best VPS hosting provider and that kind of stuff, you'll see a lot of affiliates and YouTube videos starting to show up. And so you really have to build those partnerships, reach out to third-party sites that run these benchmarks, and kind of get the word out there for them to help you build consensus. Because the way machines understand is by consensus. If there is a consensus on a claim, they'll say, yes, this is absolutely the truth. Okay. If there is no, then they're like, I don't know. You're trying to build that consensus. In the traditional SEO world, we were doing this with digital PR and all of that good stuff. Now we are doing that for a different reason.
Got it. Okay, so you mentioned something interesting here. You mentioned like a consensus, and then if it's not consistent, or let's say it's inconsistent, I mean, that could actually hurt the brand too, right? Or hurt your biggest ranking. So I'm curious. In your opinion, or not just in your opinion, like what is your strategy of things to look at to do like an entity cleanup or like an entity like checklist for things to make sure that everything is aligned?
I love so first of all, great question. I love the simplest analogy that Dan Petrovic from DJAN SEO there in Australia shared at SEO Week NYC. He said, just go to any of your favorite LLMs and just say, hey, what are the 10 entities that you relate to brand name, and enter your brand name.
Okay.
And then do the exact same, but the opposite, to say, hey, what are the 10 brands that you associate with this entity? And try and do that for a good data set and over again, and then try to identify patterns. And once you start to understand that data, I mean, just look at the data, you'll understand where the confidence is high versus low. which brands always get mentioned, which get left out.
Mhm.
And then you understand, okay, this is where, some work needs to happen, because these three entities, I think they're absolutely clear, but these four, I have to do some work. And then you start to your journey from there. So that's how I would go about it.
Love that. Love that. A lot of us will also forget, like, it's not just about tools, it's about actually doing real life research and just going into the platform and just asking, okay, what do you think about this, and see what happens. So that's how we should all be optimizing things, by like learning each platform. So I'm curious. Let's go into like paid search and versus organic. You talk about like stop the cannibalization. I mean, what are you talking about here? What are some of the warning signs you're saying?
I think there's an age-old, not a battle, but a journey that we've tried to walk with another elephant in the room, which is paid. So on search, you have 4 ads at the top, and then you have 6 or 10 organic listings at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
The fact is, if you have 4 ads at the top, Google's going to try every trick in the book to make sure that they get the bulk of the clicks, because that's where Google makes the money. But they also have to send some clicks to organic. So organic is more like, at least in the last few years, like has more become like the taker of the leftover food, if you will, right? So we take whatever paid is going to leave, which is fine as long as it works for the brand, and the brand is seeing a positive ROI. But when you work at enterprises, what starts to happen is at some point you hit that saturation point, and at that saturation stage, you're starting to see bleeding, because you're like you're starting to spend more and more and more, but your revenues and the ROI is no longer as positive as it used to be. And so then you start to think, okay, where does it make sense to lean in more organic versus paid? Like, where does it make sense for me to? And I think every CMO wants to do this. They just need the right framework to say, okay, how do we operationalize this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I've at least put together for us is to say, hey, if we rank in the top 3 position, we'll have a different bidding strategy, right? We won't be as aggressive as if we are not ranking in the top 3 position. If we rank between 4 to 10, we might be aggressive, but a little more aggressive than we were in the top 3. And if we are not on page 1 at all, that's greenfield, right? So let's just go out and go paid. But then this is where it becomes interesting to say, hey, listen, let's do some incrementality testing to say, hey, if we bid, even if we are in the top 3, incrementally, are we seeing more volume come through? Because sometimes, because you can control the ad copy and site links and all of that, it could drive up conversion rate, right? And so you want to make sure that you are doing that incrementality testing. And then if paid is running where organic is not on page 1 and actually seeing conversions, organic can say, hey, listen, these are the queries that are working absolutely fine, and we are seeing really good conversion rate. Let's go build and support from organic.
Love it. Great strategy there. So I'm talking. You also mentioned about intent clustering to map organic strength and paid search efficiency. Like, what is that? How are you doing it?
Yeah. So with another enterprise SEO AEO platform that we use called Quarter, what we've done is we've kind of pulled in all our BigQuery data from Google Search Console. So instead of having hundreds of thousands of queries, now you have access to millions of queries. And then you create a deep learning model where you kind of create very granular intent. So instead of saying this is top of funnel, mid funnel, branded, non-branded, can I say, hey, for VPS hosting, these are the queries where I know the user is just window shopping. These are the queries where I know they're comparing. These are the queries where I know they're absolutely wallet, credit card, out the pocket, ready to buy. I would have a very different approach for these different types of intents, right? Had I known that. I didn't. I mean, we did, but for a very small data set. Now we know that for a much larger data set with millions and millions of queries. And so with this intent classification that you have in front of us, you could really start to optimize and prioritize the right content pieces for paid, for organic, so on and so forth.
Got it. Love that. Okay, let's get into another part of your visibility stack here, which is Reddit, right? You mentioned like Reddit is not a channel; it's a training ground. I mean, why? I mean, what do you what makes you say this? And like, is this something that you do you have like a Reddit strategy yourself on how you're like working with your Bluehost group?
Do you use Reddit at all, Paul?
I mean, randomly. It's not. I'm not constantly on there, but I do use it for just as if I see a thread that shows up within my topic, it's something that I would click on.
As an immigrant in Canada, someone who had never had to, pick a nail in the house back in India for 35 years, and someone who has to now do all the little home improvement stuff here because that's just the way the system works here.
Mm-hmm.
I use Reddit a lot to learn about home improvement stuff and, hey, this is broken, that is broken. How do I do this? How do I do that? Like some very basic stuff. And they're like hundreds of thousands of home improvement contracting professionals ready to help.
Mm-hmm.
I found it really, really hard to consume like WikiHow articles and understand step by step and do that versus just going on Reddit, asking my question and getting answers. So personally, I've had that experience. Now, what has happened with AI is that has amplified because creating content is becoming almost like a commodity at this point. It's really, really becoming harder for people to find those authentic sources. And that's why I think all of a sudden Reddit is seeing this huge surge, aside from their partnership with Google and blah, blah, blah. So we might not want to go there, but there are some legit use cases why they are seeing that surge. And because there are like, if you think about the volume, which other community or platform out there has this kind of content? Not many. Right?
YouTube, so right? How about YouTube? You consider
100%
YouTube?
YouTube? 100% YouTube. But that's video. This is text, and maybe some just prefer text. I don't know. So. Also, YouTube is not as organized, if you will, right? Like the subreddits and the way, it's easy for them to do chunking and all of that. It's not that easy on YouTube to process all the transcript from billions of videos. Not that easy, right? So I think there's also this advantage because they are, these LLMs are lazy and they're trying to be cost effective. So it's just easy to chunk. And Reddit knows their stuff. So I think there are lots of things going on for them, and so that is the reason why they are getting like the top 3 cited website across the internet. If you look at any report that has like enough data, you would see Wikipedia, YouTube, Reddit, Wikipedia, YouTube, Reddit. They'll battle them among themselves depending on what segment you're looking at, but that's it. So you can't influence Wikipedia as much as you can YouTube and Reddit. YouTube is video, so it's production heavy. So sure, you absolutely should do it, but the costs I think are higher there. But Reddit is like, without us, you doing anything, people are probably already talking about you if you're a brand. So why not start taking control of that narrative, engage your audience where they already are engaging, and provide them, first person feedback.
Love that. Okay, so now let's talk about being on the side of using Reddit as a tool for your business. Like, how's the Boost Group using Reddit? What are you guys posting? What is the strategy behind there? I think you mentioned also it is hard because your Reddit can get banned or it can get deactivated. I mean, I've actually told like brands I work with set up a Reddit account and then all of a sudden their brand gets shut down or whatever. It's like it's not that easy. So like, I mean, what is like you think that a good basic way to start on Reddit if you're a company?
So first, if you haven't started on Reddit, start by claiming your handles and making sure that it is official handle and people know what your official subreddit and handles are. Second, start by listening. Don't talk too much, just listen. Listen to the genuine feedback that your customers and past customers and people who are prospects have to share. Our approach at Bluehost, because we are a hosting company, is there's a lot of like hosting is a very mature industry, tons of volume, tons of people building websites all the time, tons of issues that come with CMS like WordPress. So our approach is customer first, where we have our customer support teams fully dedicated on monitoring I believe a handful of subreddits which are hosting related and website related and WordPress related, to make sure, hey, are there conversations where either there's frustration and so you need to de-escalate the situation, try to help the customer where they need help, or are there opportunities for us to say, hey, someone's just saying, hey, I'm trying to build this on WordPress, I'm got stuck here. Genuinely help them, because we are the core committers to WordPress. Like we've got excellent WordPress team in-house. So help them. And then because they'll see that you're helping them, you'll earn karma over time. they see you're doing good stuff, and that's how karma works on Reddit. You get the benefit or rewards from there, right?
Love it, love it. We are at time here, guys. So if you have any questions, ask them in the live chat. I mean, I'm gonna ask a couple more questions here. So I want to see, like, I mean, if there are 3 priorities to do this visibility stack, if there's 3 things that you would tell SEOs to do right now, what would you tell them to do?
First, start measuring/monitoring. Understand what's already happening without you even doing anything, right? So get your analytics in order, have a Gen AI report, understand traffic, crawl, revenue, all of that. Second, start understanding what's inaccurate out there. So start absolutely at the bottom of the funnel. Ask all the questions about your brand, product, services, and your competitor, and see how these engines react. Because you'll find a ton of work. I'd say that is priority 1 once you start getting into these things. And then B, start understanding what sources are the most influential in your space, and then start working with those to influence those sources.
Love that. Love that. I didn't see any questions come in here. So this is the last question I ask all my SEO professionals is, if someone wants to get into the SEO industry today, become an SEO professional today, what would your advice be to them?
It's funny you asked that, because I literally had an agency founder ask me that exact question, because they're coming from social media. They're like, should I read the SEO Bible by this guy or that? I'm like, you know what? Now, since AI is there, I'd say you just start with AI, right? I mean, there is obviously some really good courses out there that Moz has put out, and Ahrefs, I love their SEO course. I might almost sound like an HF fan at this point, but so that, like, understand the legit people doing legit work, and then just follow them online on their socials and stuff like that, and start by actually practicing. Don't spend the bulk of your time reading and consuming. Do that 20%, 80%, execute and learn from your own. That's always been my mantra, to learn.
Oh, I love that. Love that. For this episode to feel complete for you, brother, what is any last words, and how can people get a hold of you?
So I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Twitter. So search for Krinal Mehta. You'll likely find me. I try and optimize my profile, so you might find me on Google as well. Happy to help the community. Thank you so much, Paul, for bringing me over here, and I'm glad we were able to have a fruitful conversation. Hopefully, people are able to take some thing out of this and apply them to their own careers and businesses or jobs. One thing I would like to say is keep testing, keep experimenting, keep learning, and keep sharing. That's it.
Love it. Everyone's give a round of applause. All right, Krinal, can you hold on for 1 quick second? Hold on for 1 quick second. All right, guys, that concludes another episode of the SEO Video Show. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And don't forget to visit our sponsor, tryprofound.com. And I will not be here next week. I will be back in a couple weeks. Next week is my birthday week, and I'm going to just take a 1 week break. Until next time, I will see you guys next year. Peace out.
Thank you for watching. Hope you come back next week. Make sure to subscribe. You don't want to miss a thing. Hope you learn something new, because the vibe is incredible. From the special SEO professionals, SEO video show. Let's work. Want to see you be an SEO expert. Paul Andre de Vera helping you step it up. No delay right now. Time to level up. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe.